commentary, entertainment, sports, news, and opinion now. Here is Steve Malzberg.
I'm 73 years old. Every day I get up is a gift. I was an end-stage heart failure 2 years ago. Got a new heart. That does wonders for your attitude, but from my perspective, I feel very strongly that these things need to be said. And if I don't say them, I don't know who else will on the standpoint of the Republican Party or somebody who has my background and experience over the last 40 years. I believe these things very deeply. I always have. My views haven't changed, but I think it's very important to be part of the debate. And that's what I intend to do.
All right, folks, Dick Cheney with Jake Tapper on CNN yesterday, and it's time for the Malzberg panel. And joining us once again, the host of the Christopher Hahn Show and former senior aide to Senator Charles Schumer, Christopher Hahn, and radio host and author, Kevin Jackson. And gentlemen, you know, I chuckle. That's how I chuckle. I chuckle when I hear the left say that Dick Cheney should just go away, and why doesn't he act like George W. Bush and not weigh in? And then I look over and I see Bill Clinton constantly weighing in, always has. Jimmy Carter constantly weighing in, always has. But George W. Bush is an anomaly. He's decided to just stay out of the fray. So let me put it to you, Christopher. What's wrong with Dick Cheney weighing in and giving his opinion?
Well, nothing, as long as we put the disclaimer that the guy's been thoroughly wrong on just about everything he's ever done since 2001. So, I mean, you know, let's just remind people that he's responsible for the Iraq failure. He's responsible for, in a large part, for all of our failures of the years of the Bush administration years. He was the driving force. He's the head neocon, and his policies have been proven thoroughly wrong. But other than that, I don't care who weighs in. Let's just remind people how wrong this guy's been.
You got Kevin Jackson cracking up. Go ahead, Kevin.
I'm cracking up because it's a typical leftist drivel. He hasn't said anything. What's Dick Cheney done? He's one of the most astute guys that's commenting on politics. Just recently, he said he had a hard time believing that he was actually saying Jimmy Carter may be a better president than Barack Obama. The only thing that Dick Cheney does that the left dislikes is he delivers truth. They're attacking the guy for having an opinion about how things are going. Put it back to them. What are you so happy about with Barack Obama that Dick Cheney wouldn't be chiming in on? He was vice president of the United States.
Well, you know, Dick Cheney and George W. Bush started 2 wars. Barack Obama ended 2 wars. Dick Cheney and W. destroyed the stock market and the economy. Barack Obama revived the economy and the stock market.
Yeah.
Look, Jimmy Carter is a better president than George W. Bush was. That is for damn sure.
Who is? Who is?
Jimmy
He
Carter.
said
Jimmy Carter.
Well, let's talk about the stock market, because let's talk about the stock market because I think the Democrats. It's funny. Barack Obama has every intent. Why isn't he spiking the football on the stock market? The guy who said he was going to separate Main Street and Wall Street and penalize all those big Wall Street fat cats. And you know who's making out? All those Wall Street fat cats. And the stock market is fraudulent, and he knows it. This guy knows it. He knows the value of $1 is so depleted that the stock market could go to 20,000, and it's still around 8 in white president terms. It's at 8,000.
All right, let me, Christopher. Let me ask you something, Christopher.
Mr. Jackson? What?
I just want to make sure
Christopher,
I don't even know how to respond to that. I'm not going to touch that, Steve. Maybe you can.
I'm not sure exactly what Kevin means, but let me change over to something Dick Cheney said about he is fearful, very fearful, and very certain that we will get hit with much harder in this country than we were on 9/11 with much more severe weapons. And you bring up ending 2 wars, and you applaud that. And the way Barack Obama ran out of Iraq has led to ISIS, which now has led to every security expert you could find is warning that the people are going to train with ISIS and have just entree into this country because a lot of them have passports and visas. They'll have no problem getting in here undetected, and they could launch a major attack in the United States.
Well, look, we're always going to have people who want to do us harm. And under this president, we have seen that harm been done outside of our borders by foreign nationals. So, you know, we have to continue to watch that. I hear what Dick Cheney says, and I'm not saying he's totally wrong there. You know, ISIS is a potential threat down the road. But that said, ISIS was created because of the Iraq War. ISIS was created by Dick Cheney policies.
Dick Cheney policies. Okay.
Yeah, it's
now, aren't those the policies that Hillary Clinton and John Kerry voted for? That they endorsed?
Great point.
They were lied to.
Oh, they were lied to. I see. They're poor, stupid Hillary and John Kerry. They bought those lies. I don't buy, Kevin, I don't buy that.
Well,
no, you shouldn't buy it because that's exactly what the left does. When the narrative fits them, then they want it to sound, as if it was everybody else's fault. Look, none of us that are on this call.
Were they not lied to? I mean, didn't Bush and Cheney?
Wait, one at a time, Kevin. Let Kevin finish. Go ahead.
None of us that are on this program have been in any of the security briefings or anything that led to that decision. And I wouldn't second guess Barack Obama if he did or did not go into war on something like this. So that drivel that comes from the left, you didn't sit in on any of those meetings, but you just repeat the talking points. Look, we decided as a nation to go to war. End of story.
Senate back then. I did work in the Senate back then, and I did have C-SPAN,
Did you sit in on
and
those
there was a
security
briefing.
briefings?
Did you sit in on any of those? No.
All right, guys. I don't want to litigate the reason for going into war. We went into Iraq because the world thought he had chemical weapons.
Because they were told by Dick Cheney that he had chemical weapons.
No. The king of Jordan told General Franks that you better be wearing the chemical suits because he's going to use what he has. So the whole world thought that he had chemical weapons. That's a whole nother story, though. Let's go on. The headline on Drudge right now, Christopher, is an illegal who came to the border with kids, was given papers to appear, ran, murdered, and is now being held for murdering and kidnapping. This is just one example.
Well, I don't read Drudge, and I don't really believe anything they say. So
all right. Well, that's a stupid. Christopher, that's a pretty silly remark because excuse me. Drudge links to publications who print news stories. So to say you don't read Drudge and believe anything they say, I don't even know what that means. Let's pick this up on the other side. We're talking to Christopher Hahn and host of the Christopher Hahn Show, and of course Kevin Jackson, the author of The Big Black Lie and radio host, who I believe just got a new gig, if I'm not mistaken. He can tell us about it when we come back. And we'll be back with part 2 of the Malzberg panel. You want to get in touch? Here's how you do it.